with me,
Hi.
who is the director and producer of the documentary Straws. And I have to say, this film holds a very special place in my heart because I had the big honor to be a little part of that film as well. So Linda came and interviewed me here in Costa Rica about 4 years ago. And yeah, today we will have the chance to talk to her about who she is, what she does, why she did this film, and what might have changed because she made this film. Maybe Linda, you want to tell us a little bit?
Yeah, well, thank you, Christina. And it was such an honor to have you be a part of the project. And I had kind of gone down the path already to do some research and development about plastic straw litter in particular, which at that point in time, nobody was really talking about because it was a lot of focus on plastic bags and plastic bottles. And those two items I think were really the activists were really focused on. But then a friend of mine suggested, hey, what about really looking at straw litter? And then I think 5 or 6 months later, your turtle video went up on YouTube, and all of a sudden, it's like all these things were converging at once, and this ginormous, awareness was building. I mean, we were still in production when your video came out, but I think it was just at that point such a huge catalyst that helped us dovetail into and really start moving the film out for community screenings, for policy change, and for educational screenings, and just so many environmentalism groups were able to take it and do all kinds of fun screenings with it, everything from bars to beaches to, and it was great. And we're kind of now, like I'd say, 3 years into its distribution. And so it's been quite a journey, that's for sure. It's been a lot, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, I actually find, I mean, the film is called Straws, but I think it's so much more because it doesn't just talk about straws, right?
Yeah.
I think in the end, you're really talking about single-use plastics. It's like a holistic view onto it. And straws are just like this one piece, which I love because I think a lot of times the straw is taken out of context and it's talked about as if it's the one and end all, right? But it's not. It's just one symbol of the overconsumption of plastics that we have in our everyday life, and especially in the developed world. And the awareness that something needs to change, just like, for example, this incredible movement for plastic free July. So I think this is just
Yeah.
very, very cool. So, but maybe um, yeah, you can tell us a little bit about like why or like how you as a person, like what has changed maybe for you learning about everything that you learned. Because I'm sure for you it's just a journey. I mean, you weren't a plastic scientist before you're a filmmaker, right? So maybe it was something, you went on a journey with this
Yeah.
film, just like with other films that you made. And what was it that you learned and that really changed your worldview onto, well, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think, the biggest surprise was even just not really thinking about straws. I mean, I think, and so it really compelled me to like think, okay, maybe I really should invest in time and the money and all that, and focusing on that one item because I considered myself pretty, sustainable and green, but boy, it never occurred to me. So and every film begins with a lot of research, and so when I started diving into the entire topic of plastic pollution, I was just flabbergasted. I was floored by what I was reading, and I think again, this sort of like the awareness around plastic pollution was starting to increase, but it there was a lot of research going on, like with Jenna Jembeck, and her report had just come out when we were kind of getting into our tail end production. So I was learning so much. And with every film I do, the biggest gift for me is being able to interview experts like you and Jenna and activists like, Jackie Nunes in the film, because you guys are really, you're giving me information that I can give to an audience, but at the same time I'm learning so much as well. What it changed for me is just becoming much more vigilant about my single-use plastic use and becoming a little bit of just a little crazy about it sometimes because we know when we go down that road and we start really trying to eliminate it out of our lives, we can get a little overboard. So my poor husband, he's like, "Oh, for God's sakes, just use the plastic bag," Well, but I'm like, "No," we all go through our guilt. But yeah, I really started changing my product use, and I think that's a big thing is really trying to look at my consumer habits. And I think that was a big message in the film too. It's like, we know it's not always easy, but it really, and we don't try to like make people feel bad in the film. I don't like that approach. I think it's more about you can have the ability to do something good. And it really doesn't take that much effort. And it's really just asking people to think about it and do something if they can.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I actually had a conversation earlier today where we were talking about, I love that there's people out there that are able to live zero waste, don't create any waste. But I don't think that this is a realistic approach for every single one, because I also think there's a lot that has to do with privilege and with the economic means, to buy certain products that might not come wrapped or shop in certain stores that even offer those kind of products. So it's always within, I'm trying to encourage people within their means and their economic, means as well. It's to try the best they can, right? Because we don't need, and I think that it's this zero waste chef that kind of pointed this, that we don't need, a handful of people that do it perfectly. We need millions of people that do it imperfectly to really make a difference. And this is really the approach that I try to preach and say, hey, but I feel you though. Even today I went out. I needed to get some groceries, and they gave me the plastic bag, and I immediately start sweating because I'm just thinking, no, I can't accept it. Like, I mean, I'm going to plastic hell. That's kind of what it is, and I declined it. I said, I'm sorry, I don't use plastics.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's not, you can't avoid it, which is really sad. But I think once you're so aware of it, it's just everywhere. It's so overbearing and overwhelming, and something needs to change, right? But really interesting is you just said that you're trying to change the use of your products. So do you have any tips for people? Like, have you found anything really cool uh, recently, maybe that you were like, oh man, I finally found this product plastic free? Because I have those moments still.
Yeah, well, I actually got very, there's so much serendipitous things that happened when I was during the film production. And one of them was that I found out that the CEO of a company called Plain Products actually lives here, the same place I do, in North Carolina, in the same city. And I was given an introduction to her. And I was just like, oh my God, this is a solution. And in fact, I can grab a bottle. And I swear this is not like I don't get paid to plug. It's a wonderful woman owned company. Her and Lindsay, and here it is, Plain Products. Oh, there we are. Of you who are old enough to remember Netflix, when you would get a DVD in the mail, and then when you were done watching it, you would send it back. This is what this is about. This is a reusable steel container that once you're done with it, you get on their website, and then they send a replacement, and you send back the empties. And I guess it's sort of like, yes, there's bulk, and again, not everybody has access to bulk products, but for me, this was like, yay! I don't have this huge pile up of plastic containers underneath my bathroom counter anymore. I've reduced it down to just using this product. And the other great thing about it is it's non-toxic, of course, and all or natural ingredients. Everything in there is very pure and good. But I think they're not the only company, obviously, doing something like that. But I think that's a big change, is when you really start thinking like, maybe, again, if you're privileged enough to live in a community that has a natural food store with bulk items, give it a try. Ours here where I live have actually let you bring your own jars and your own containers, and then so you're not even using their plastic bags, a durable container. That's one thing that drives me nuts. Like at some stores, they have a bulk section, but then they have a stack of plastic boxes to put your bulk stuff in. It's like, no. I mean, what you want to do is, try an alternative, at least a paper bag instead. I could go on and on for sure. Yeah.
What I really like in Europe is that for some reason, at least in Germany, we have a bunch of those. It's called unpacked stores. So you can literally get everything from from soap, liquid soap, over oils, your pasta, your rice, everything comes unpacked. So you can bring either your own containers, or I think you can even rent containers as well, that you
Mhm.
like return like a deposit on it, and then you return it again. So I really think this circular economy, not creating any kind of, trash, is great. I'm just wondering, living in a country like Costa Rica, though, what would be other solutions? Because there is no mailing system here, even, or anything where you can like have this really, great return scheme.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Well, I
so
think there's doing it yourself, and actually, I have started to make some of my own products too. I make my own lip gloss or my own lip balms. I make a shea butter and hemp oil, coconut oil balm for our skin. My husband loves it. And then I recently dabbled in I'd like to try soaps. Because the thing is, if you look at really the basic ingredients of good natural products, it's stuff you can buy and you can make your own. It's really fun. I mean, if you love cooking or you love being creative, it's another great outlet. And it's something that my friends have appreciated. I give them as little gifts now. And of course, we have a little more time now on our hands. Like, I don't go anywhere and I don't really want to go shopping. So it's another good excuse for me to make the stuff at home. Then I know exactly what's in it. And that feels good too. I mean, I did another film about industrial hemp, and my big learning experience about that was all the toxic ingredients and chemicals that go into so many of our products that are so unhealthy for us. And we don't, it's a whole other film and a whole other topic, but it's something that goes with this. We know that plastic is toxic as well, and plastic leaches into our products that are going into us, including drinking water. So here's the huge irony: a lot of people think they're drinking good, pure water out of a plastic bottle, when really it is contaminated by plastic particles. And I'm sure, I mean, microplastics, that's a whole new topic, right? I mean, that really kind of has emerged, and how those are invasive into everything right now. Can you talk? Yeah, what are you finding with microplastics in your animals and turtles right now?
well, microplastics in turtles is still like a thing, because it is so difficult to even like find it. So like getting the feces or the stomach contents and then analyze it for microplastics. So there's some that has been done. But what I find scarier is actually the human health angle and
Yeah.
microplastics, because there's really stats that already show the IQ in newborn children are influenced by the toxins that plastic are leaching, and are actually then also passed on through the mother's milk. Um, Sperm count in men, actually, there is some stats that say, well, if we continue using plastic as we do right now, by 2060, I think, don't quote me on it, but I think 2060, we will have pretty much a high percentage of infertile men on this planet. So this is really things, if you don't care about my turtles suffering because of plastic pollution, you should definitely stop and wonder about what it does to yourself.
Well, I mean,
Especially,
I laugh
especially
because
since we know that, the gut, like your whole flora, like your gut flora, is already connected to allergies, to chronic diseases, to
right.
anxiety and chronic like depression, and all kinds of other stuff that and then you kind of throw in the whole microplastic and toxins,
Mhm.
and then you're really thinking, wow, I mean, we only barely scratching the surface of this
So,
issue, right?
yeah.
And I think right now the research starts to pick up, and I think, let's talk in 5 years again. I think we will be absolutely devastated and absolutely horrified to hear what kind of trash literally we're putting into and have been putting into our bodies for the past decades. And I
Yeah.
don't even know how to reverse all of that anymore. I mean, I'm trying really hard as well to live healthy. I'm cooking at home. We actually grow a lot of stuff here in Costa Rica ourselves. Like the same thing with like talks like cleaning products. I pretty much do make those myself based on like baking soda and vinegar, most of them. um but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, still, there's so many people that buy all that stuff in the store, and it scares me, to be quite honest. It really scares me, with all the research that's coming out, because it's something. should be regulated. You know, our own government should protect ourselves from those things, and I don't think it's happening. You know, I think they just like look the other way when big companies poison literally the entire planet.
I think Europe has done a better job of handling that and having better regulations. And it was shocking for me when I was doing my other film to find out that so many products that were manufactured here in the United States had different formulas for the ones they were shipping to Europe and other countries, and keeping the banned toxic chemicals in the U.S. products. To me, that's like criminal. It truly is. It's like this is how you treat the people that you're consumers. I don't know. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh in the middle of what you were talking about a little bit, or smile, because I've had this.
No, 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 no. Okay, am I gone? Or is Linda gone? I guess Linda is gone for once, not me. I'm usually the one that falls off the stream. Katja, can you hear me? Hello? Is anybody out there?
Yes, I can hear you.
So Linda is gone. She fell off the stream.
Yeah.